have all of my notes on my library receipt. Pro Skill Reviewer right here. Hello everyone. Today I am going to be reviewing Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This clearly is not my copy of a book, but I have this book a few days at the library, so I decided to hold on to it until I finish this review. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was not my favorite book of all time. It wasn't like it was an amazing book, but I really liked it. Shadow and Bone is about a girl named Alina who is an orphan at a very young age, and she grew up in this world. It's about her being in the army with her best friend, and they are about to cross what is called the Fold, which is just this giant land of darkness where there are a bunch of velociraptor creatures, is how I pictured them. Basically, they are a terror to mankind. They kill, they eat people, they attack people. As they cross the Fold, they are attacked by the Volcra, and it seems that they are all gonna die. It seems like there's no hope. But Alina shows that she has powers and wipes them all away, and they are saved. And she is thrust into this world with all the other Grisha who have power. She has to find her place in her new lifestyle, and she's without her best friend who's been her best friends for ages. When she is taken to court, she meets the Darkling. He's very mysterious. Everyone talks about him and says how evil he is and how no one should trust him and no one should be with him. Alina is the Darkling's new favorite because he thinks that she is able to save their world and change it. Okay, that was it for the non-spoiler, so if you have not read the book, then you can go pick it up and read it, and then you can come back and listen to the rest of my review. Now, when I read books, I usually get really invested in the love story aspect of it and not the actual story of the book, so most of what I'm going to be talking about is relationships, so I'm so sorry about that, but I will talk about the plot as well. First, I'm going to start talking about the Darkling. Now, much to my parents' dismay, I love the bad boy. Any bad boy in a story I immediately draw to. Of course, when I met the Darkling, I instantly fell in love with him. The story really tricked me about the Darkling, but from everyone I heard who talks about this book, they say how evil the Darkling is. And he was definitely mysterious, and he did not seem like a good guy by any means. But he didn't seem to be that much of a evil villain of how people made him out to be. I was completely tricked and surprised because I totally thought that he was just this misunderstood character. I really felt for him, and I really loved Alina and the Darkling's relationship. I totally shipped them together, and I still do from the end of this book. But when the Darkling's mom came up to Alina and said, you know, he's actually evil, like he wants to make the Fold even bigger, I was completely shocked. I did not see it coming. I didn't see it coming at all. It didn't make me love him any less because, as I said before, I love the bad boys. Even if they are completely evil, I still love them so much. And in the part in the story when Alina is talking to the Darkling after she figures out that he's really evil, in the line he says, "Someone has to lead Alina, someone has to end this, believe me, I wish there were another way." He sounded so reasonable, less a creature of relentless ambition than a man who believed he was doing the right thing for his people. Despite all he'd done and all he intended, I did almost believe him. Almost. And of course, like, I completely believed him. I was like, yes, you are actually good. I always try to make up excuses. I'm like, he's just doing what he thinks best. It's okay. Like, I always make excuses for him, even though he's probably lying. I still believe it. I really did not like Mal at all as a character, probably just because I shipped Alina and the Darkling together. But just something about him just made me so mad because Alina and Mal were best friends as kids, but as they got older, she could tell that he kind of drifted apart from her and that he wanted to be with other girls. He wanted to be with his friends, and he didn't really want to just be with Alina anymore. And it seemed he was always just staying away from Alina, but still trying to be friends with her. I don't know. There's just something off about him. And then, of course, at the end, he comes back and is like, oh, Alina, I love you. Like, I've always wanted you. And I'm like, no, just go away, Mal. Go away. I don't need you. And I never liked Mal when he was flirting with all the girls and he didn't care about Alina then. But of course, now he figured everything out when he was away from her for how long. I'm just like, no. No. Go away. Anything with Mal and Alina, especially at the end when they were together, I hated those parts so much. I just did not like them at all. Now, going away from the romance, because I know that's not the complete story, there was some slow parts, definitely, especially at the end when it was just her and Mal running away from the Darkling. I'm totally biased because I don't like Mal, but I also didn't like that part because it just seemed like it was going nowhere in the story. So that's why I don't think I completely loved it, because while there were some parts that were really interesting, Alina's training and the parts when she was running away, I just wasn't a huge fan of, and it was really hard for me to get through all of those parts. I'm still a little bit confused about what the fold actually is. Is it just a bunch of land and it's just full of darkness, or is it like a dimension? Maybe I just completely missed that part of when they were explaining it, but I feel like it never clarified because I assumed that they were like on a boat type thing or taking them to the other country, but I was really confused about the whole thing in general. I also hope they explain more about the priest that was with the king, because he seemed like he had an important role, but she never really thought about him or talked about him except when he was being kind of creepy towards her. I hope that they explain more of his purpose in the next few books. Mentioned him briefly, maybe he wasn't actually evil, he was actually trying to tell Alina something, but we didn't really hear anything else about him, so I kind of want to know more about why he's important to the story. I really like Genya as Alina's best friend in the court. I thought she was really just funny and down to earth and wasn't like all the other people in the court. I really, really like that, which is strange for me because usually I don't like the female characters like that. Usually I just find them annoying. I don't want them in the story. But I really liked her, and I really think that she helped Alina along in the process of her trying to fit into everything and into the court. A lot of Alina's story as she was in the court and she was training and figuring out her powers, it kind of seemed a little rushed, which is okay because I didn't want to spend too much time on that because it was a little boring at some parts, but it really seemed like she was only there for a week when she was actually probably there for months. I thought it was really interesting at the end scene when the Darkling put the antler collar around Alina's neck and he could control her because he killed the beast, that Alina could take over and not let the Darkling take control over her. I thought that was really cool. It just showed how powerful Alina is going to be. I'm really excited to see how far her powers progress. I'm not sure how much she's actually going to practice her powers because she is on the run, but I can tell that she is going to be very, very powerful. I mostly just really liked all the encounters between Alina and the Darkling, whether it was romantic or just them talking. I really, really enjoyed it. As I said before, I'm a huge fan of the Darkling. He's probably my favorite character in the book so far. There you have it. There is my review for Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Hopefully I enjoy more of the storyline in the next few books. Hopefully I can get really invested in the plot. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!